Do you want to know what's happening in sport? Tune in to On the Ball, a weekly tour show which is on WINN FM 98.9 every Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. with me, your host, Troy Bif Mills. We will keep you on the ball with our variety of guests and, of course, your calls, discussing the facts and the stats and sharing your opinions. Get on the ball and stay on the ball by tuning into On the Ball with Troy Bif Mills on WINN FM 98.9 every Tuesday night from 7 to 9 p.m. and also on Facebook and YouTube. Be on the ball.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. WINN FM.
Hey, have you heard about the water shortage in our area?
Yeah, it's pretty serious. I've been trying to conserve water as much as possible.
Me too. I've started taking shorter showers and turning off the faucet when I brush my teeth.
Look, that's great. Another way to save water is to fix any leaks in your house.
Oh, I hadn't thought of that. How much water can a leak waste?
A small leak can waste up to 20 gallons of water daily, which can really add up over time.
Wow, that's a lot. And have to check for any leaks in my house.
But another good tip is to only run your dishwasher and washing machine when they're full to save water and energy.
I'll keep that in mind. It's important that we all do our part to conserve water, especially during this shortage.
Absolutely. Every drop counts.
This message was brought to you by the St. Kitts Water Services Department. Learn more at water.gov.can.
Do you want to know what's happening in sport? Tune in to On the Ball, a weekly tour show which is on WINN FM 98.9 every Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. with me, your host, Troy Bif Mills. We will keep you on the ball with our variety of guests and, of course, your calls, discussing the facts and the stats and sharing your opinions. Get on the ball and stay on the ball by tuning into On the Ball with Troy Bif Mills on WINN FM 98.9 every Tuesday night from 7 to 9 p.m. and also on Facebook and YouTube. Be on the ball.
Ladies and gentlemen, hey, guess what? I'm back in SK. I'm back live and direct in the studio. The last time we did this program, I was somewhere halfway around the world in Doha, Qatar. I was attending the ITTF Summit, AGM, and elections. And our program here is 7 o'clock on the ball, WINN FM 98.9, every Tuesday from 7 to 9. But Doha is 7 hours ahead of us. So when you guys were here, up and lively all night, I had to wake up 2 o'clock in the morning to do the show. So if I might have sound a little groggy and thing, and a little horsey and just wake up voice, and me just wake up face, which may not ain't so handsome, I do apologize for that. But I am back in sweet Sugar City, as some people say, no place like home. Welcome to another edition of On the Ball here at WINN FM 98.9 with yours truly, Troy Bif Mills. And I'm hoping that we're going to have a wonderful program tonight. Notwithstanding, we're starting off with some not so good news, football that is. But We are due to have 2 guests. I'm not certain about the first guest, which should have been on any time now. But I can tell you the St. Kitts Amateur Volleyball Association, they are going to be with us from about 8 o'clock. And a lot of things are keeping volleyball. So we're going to hear about that. If you're celebrating birthday today, we say happy birthday to you. If you're celebrating anniversary, happy anniversary to you. And if by chance you're undergoing some period of bereavement, on behalf of the management staff, Board of Directors of WINN FM 98.9, on behalf of the On The Ball show, every Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m., and on behalf of the News and Sports Department, and on behalf of yours truly, Troy Bif Mills, we say condolences to you. And I'm remembering Mr. Dennis Bowers, out of Challengers. He worked for quite a few years, his whole life at the Electricity Department and then Skellect. He actually buried his son today. And he's a member of the St. Kitts and Nevis Table Tennis Fraternity. He's one of our coaches. And on behalf of the St. Kitts and Nevis Table Tennis Association, on behalf of the executive, the clubs, the table tennis fraternity, and on behalf of my family and myself, I say condolences to Dennis and his family on the loss of his son, who was buried today up at Springfield. It's never an easy time losing someone. It's something that even you went through it with your family. You just don't know how another person going through losing even a similar family member. You don't know how it is. Different different pressures, different pains, different heartaches. Death is death, but the feeling, the effect of death, it differs on different people. So condolences to you, Dennis. If you were celebrating an anniversary between last week, Wednesday, and yesterday, we say happy belated anniversary to you. If you're celebrating birthday between last week, Wednesday, and today, happy belated birthday. And speaking about happy belated, Mr. Austin Williams, he jumps out at mine, the former commissioner of police, and he's currently the vice president of the St. Kitts Cricket Association. So he celebrated a couple of days ago. Happy birthday, Austin. I think he might have made 38, 39, 43, something like that. I mean, that's how young the man is looking. I've known him for forever. When I was umpiring since 1984, and he was playing for police. And I think I would have, no, I don't believe I knew him before that. Because I was a little boy back in 1984, a little small boy. Still got my mother features, as some people would say. But happy birthday to you, Austin. If you're celebrating birthday between now and the next week, Monday, happy birthday in advance. If you're celebrating anniversary between now and next week, Monday, happy anniversary in advance. And of course, if you achieve something new, a baby in the family, and talking about baby family, maybe I should be congratulating myself. Well, I saw my grandchild, my first grand, on the weekend in New York. My first daughter, not with my ex-wife. She is living in New York, so I was able to visit my grand. So it was a good feeling. And if you got a new job, a new bicycle, a new weave, whatever, new set of fingernails, congratulations to you. Hope it works out well. And we encourage you to come on board it On The Ball. We're still appealing for sponsors, and we want you to come on board and assist to ensure that this program continues and this program expands. So we really need your assistance. And we can work out whatever package. If you want to sponsor we would prefer that, of course, you sponsor the entire program for every week, for the month, for the next few months. However, we'll work whatever to suit you. If you want to sponsor the first Tuesday in every month or the last Tuesday, that is okay. If you want to sponsor the first hour of the program, every program, or specific programs, that is still okay. We can work something out for you. We will work something out for you. Give our marketing department a call, 466-9586, or you can give yours truly a call, Troy Bif Mills, And the number right now is 765-1100, my digital number, 765-1100. If you want to call me, if you want to WhatsApp me, that's the number to get me at, 765-1100. My flow number, 668-2055. Two things are wrong with that. One, the phone is acting up. So I have to see if I could get one of my lady friends somewhere about, give me a phone. And two, I'm having some challenges with my WhatsApp on that number. So if you're going to send a WhatsApp to me, I'm not going to get it, I'm not going to see it. So please redirect all calls and messages until further notice to 765-1100. And I must greet a few people while we're here on the program. We have Eustace, he is up in Texas, he is always logged on. And who else do we have? We have Tito. Why the man abused me when the man hailed him up, eh? Tito over in, he is from inner city, and he is in Montreal, Canada. That's where he is, Montreal, Canada. So we say, big up to you. Who else we are listening? Montezuma, he is listening, and you know they're starting a program, a cricket program over in Mansion, the 15th. Hopefully we might be able to get a call from him and find out how plans are going with that. And we will hear how it works out. So we're going to get started in a few. And I'm not certain we're going to have our first guest with us. But let us take a break and come back in a few. Stick and stay. Don't go away. We will be right back here with you in a few moments.
Do you want to know what's happening in sport? Tune into On the Ball, a weekly tour show which is on WINN FM 98.9 every Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. with me, your host, Troy Bif Mills. We will keep you on the ball with our variety of guests and, of course, your calls, discussing the facts and the stats and sharing your opinions. Get on the ball and stay on the ball by tuning into On the Ball with Troy Bif Mills on WINN FM 98.9 every Tuesday night from 7 to 9 p.m. and also on Facebook and YouTube. Be on the ball.
Not yet. Well, welcome back to another edition here. If you're just joining us, we took a little break. We are back from the break, and we say thank you for joining us. And we have a bit of good news and a lot of good news and a bit of not so good news for you. Unfortunately, the Sugar Bowl, we didn't make it. We lost today to Grenada, so that means we are out of it. We are out of the running to qualify for the World Cup. After we got the scoring open, we opened the scoring in the 34th minute by Tyrese Tyson Nisbet Simpson. He's out of Colchester United, on loan from the English Premier League, and he got things started for St. Kitts and Nevis. He was born in England actually, but he represents St. Kitts and Nevis national team, and he scored in the 34th minute, and we went into the halftime leading 1-0. But hold on, let me start from a different angle. All we were playing for in this game was pride. We couldn't get into the top two. Costa Rica, they were leading the group with an unblemished record, winning all three of their matches. So they had 9 points and a hefty plus 15 goal difference. Trinidad and Tobago in second, winning 2, drawing 1. They have 7 points. And they have a goal difference of plus 10. Grenada, they were in third, winning 2, drawing 1. They had 4 points, and they had a goal difference of something like, I think it was 3, plus 3. St. Kitts and Nevis, we were in fourth, winning 1, losing 2, and we had a goal difference of -7. We had 3 points. Now, the way the zone, this group, and that is Group B, the way that is, Costa Rica already gone home. We know a few things. Costa Rica already qualified to the next round. The Bahamas already gone home. St. Kitts and Nevis, after the match tonight, they gone home. Well, we staying home, so to speak. Trinidad and Tobago, they are the favorites to go through in second place. However, Grenada, they have an outside chance of getting through. A very much outside chance. Trinidad and Tobago, they have a goal difference of plus, well, no. Sorry, I'm misleading you. Grenada no longer have a chance. Before they would have been hoping for 3 things to happen. 1, they would have been hoping that Trinidad and Tobago lost. They're playing now. We would have been hoping that Trinidad and Tobago lost the game they're playing. The game started 7 o'clock. 1, and they were beaten very soundly. And when I say that, I mean by a beautiful, large, gigantic, if you want to call it that, goal difference that is like 8-0, 9-0, 10-0, but we know it ain't going to happen. And Grenada, I said 3 things or 4. Grenada, 1, had to beat St. Kitts and Nevis, and they had to beat St. Kitts and Nevis by about 8 goals. The 8 goals would have put them 1 goal better in terms of goal difference than Trinidad and Tobago. And according to how Trinidad and Tobago lose, if they lost 1-0, they only had to get 7 goals. If they lost 2-0, they had to get 6, etc., etc. However, Grenada defeated St. Kitts and Nevis, and that was the end of St. Kitts and Nevis, and that is also the end of Grenada, because Trinidad and Tobago, with 1 more match to play against Costa Rica, even if they lose, Costa Rica will have to beat them like 7-0 for Grenada to come back in the picture. Why? Trinidad and Tobago, they currently have a goal difference of plus 10, positive 10, while Grenada, who have played all their matches, have a goal difference of plus 4. So Trinidad and Tobago's goal difference is 6, much better than Grenada. So when they have to beat them 7-0 or by 7 clear goals for Grenada to stand a chance to go through. And guess what? I don't believe that is going to happen at all. I don't believe that will ever happen, not this year. And I think Costa Rica is going to win. It's slightly iffy that it might draw. But if it is a draw, then Trinidad and Tobago they would go to 8 points and they go on clear, whatever the score is. Now, the thing about it, the two of them will qualify from Group B. And just to put a little bit of perspective in this thing, Costa Rica, they are ranked what, 54? They are ranked 54 on FIFA list. Trinidad and Tobago, they are ranked 100 and even Steven 100 on the FIFA list. St. Kitts and Nevis, we are ranked 145. We slipped down one. While the Bahamas, who are in our group, they are ranked 204. Grenada, I missed out Grenada, yes. Grenada are ranked 100. Them way down below us, you know. They are ranked at 174. Now, that is before this match, because I suspect the ratings will change for Grenada. They might jump a place or two because they defeated us and we're so many places ahead of them. So that's interesting in terms of the Grenada thing. So let us review. Trinidad, they drew 2-2 with Grenada. That was on the 5th of June. On the 6th of June, Costa Rica gave us 4-0. On the 8th of June, Trinidad and Tobago defeated Bahamas 7-1. On the 9th of June, Costa Rica gave Grenada 3-0. On the 11th of June, we defeated Bahamas 1-0. I never could understand why only one, but I guess the ball is round, the field is rectangular. On the 6th of June, Trinidad and Tobago gave us 6-2. On the 7th of June, Costa Rica gave Bahamas 8-0. On the 10th of June today, Grenada gave us 3-2. And you always hear me keep talking about this locker room talk at halftime. I don't know. I really would like to be in there to hear what the coaches tell their players. Whether you're leading at halftime and you're going leading, or what you tell them when your team is behind, or if it goes in even Steven when they at halftime. Because too many times we see one, teams scoring within the first 2-3 minutes of returning, 2 within the first 5 minutes, 3 within the first 10 minutes of returning. So I really would like to be a fly on the wall to hear what they're saying. And it worked out again here because 1-0 halftime, St. Kitts and Nevis. Charles Cook of Grenada, he made it 2-0 in the 49th minute. 4 minutes into the second half. 4 minutes after resuming. 49 minutes. And then Francis, Jermaine Lamont Jordan Francis, he made it 2-0 in the 76th minute. And Julius Johnson of Grenada, he extended the score 90 plus 1 minute. That is the first minute of time for stoppages, and they played 5 minutes. And then we had our own Romain Theodore Sawyers. He pulled one back in the 90 plus 4 minutes, but it wasn't enough really to do anything for us. We went down 3-2. Costa Rica will be playing Trinidad and Tobago And that game is at 7 o'clock, and it is San Jose down in Costa Rica. So the match has started. We're not certain how that is going. And this is the CONCACAF qualifying zone for the World Cup in 2026. In Group A, well, Honduras, they've won all 3 matches. They are 9 points. They have already qualified for the next round. Bermuda, they have won 2, drawn 1, lost 1. So they have 7 points. They have gone through as well. Cuba just missed out, winning 2, drawing 2. And Cuba, they have 6 points. Cayman Island, 3 points. Antigua and Barbuda having a torrid time. Just drawing 1 match and losing 2. They have Honduras to play. And the chances are that's going to be a loss for them. And so Group A, Honduras and Bermuda gone through to the next round. Group B, Costa Rica gone through. But the wait is on to see if it's Trinidad and Tobago, which I believe is most likely, and then Grenada. In Group C, both Curacao, winning all 3 matches, have 9 points, a goal difference of +9, and Haiti winning all 3 matches as well. They have 9 points, a goal difference of +8. Aruba 2 points, Barbados 1 point, St. Lucia 1 point. Those are the 3 teams going home. In Group D, Nicaragua winning all 3, they have 9 points. Panama winning all 3, they have 9 points. They have already qualified. And that zone, there are 2 matches left in that zone. And forgive me, I didn't say in Group A, just the 1 match, Honduras versus Antigua and Barbuda. And that is playing tonight at 8 o'clock down in Honduras. St. Kitts and Nevis in Group B. We already said gone home. Group C, we said who went through, Curacao and Haiti. Aruba, Barbados, St. Lucia. They gone home. Now Group D, Nicaragua and Panama, both winning all 3 matches. Nicaragua have a goal difference of +8, while Panama have a goal difference of +6. Guyana with 3 points. Montserrat with 3 points. Belize losing all 4 matches. That's surprising. I thought they were a little stiffer than that, but they gone home as well. Now we move down to Group E. Group E, Guatemala and Jamaica, they have already qualified, both winning the 3 matches. They have 9 points. Guatemala, goal difference of +11. Jamaica, goal difference of just +3. Dominican Republic on 3 points. Dominica on 3 points. And poor British Virgin Islands losing all 4 matches. They have been eliminated. Group F, Suriname already qualified, winning all 3 matches. They have 9 points. Notwithstanding, they have 1 more match to play. El Salvador in second with 7 points, 2 victories, 1 drawn match. Puerto Rico, they are third on 4 points. They could get to 7 points. They have a goal difference of 7. El Salvador only have a goal difference of +4. And Anguilla have been eliminated, losing all 4 matches. St. Vincent in fourth. They have been eliminated, winning 1, drawing 2. And in terms of Suriname and, El Salvador and Puerto Rico is playing St. Vincent and the Grenadines at 9 o'clock tonight. And chances are, if I had to pick a team, I'll say Puerto Rico will win. El Salvador and Suriname playing tonight. That should be a good game. That's at the top. So I suspect Suriname may very well edge them out. I don't know. But if Suriname beats El Salvador and Puerto Rico beats St. Vincent and the Grenadines, which I believe will happen, Puerto Rico will go to 7 points. And if El Salvador loses, they will stay on 7 points. Puerto Rico will have a much better goal difference. So it means Puerto Rico will go through to the second round. But we don't know. we will have to wait and see. Tough luck to the Sugar Boys and their loss. Tough luck to Coach Austin Deco Huggins. And we'll have to wait another 4 years for World Cup qualifiers. So tough luck. We do have the CONCACAF Nations League to look forward to. So we wish the Sugar Boys all the best in the next campaign for the World Cup, because their campaign for the next World Cup is over. Sorry, and when I said the next World Cup, not this World Cup cycle, the one after, because their campaign for this World Cup cycle, 2026, that is done. So we have to say thank you for representing us, and we hope that you would have learned something, you would have enjoyed a bit of it, and as we would normally say, better luck next time around. So that's it for World Cup football. Now that has ended, our Premier League and our First Division will continue. Sometime I have to wait and see the fixtures. I'm not certain as yet. I haven't seen anything, but we should be having them and seeing them sometime soon. So from football, we are going to go across to basketball. And before we do that, let us take a quick break. And we will be right back. Stick and stay, don't go away. We will be back with On the Ball.
you want to know what's happening in sport? Tune in to On the Ball, a weekly tour show which is on WINN FM 98.9 every Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. with me, your host, Troy Bif Mills. We will keep you on the ball with our variety of guests and, of course, your calls, discussing the facts and the stats and sharing your opinions. Get on the ball and stay on the ball by tuning into On the Ball with Troy Bif Mills on WINN FM 98.9 every Tuesday night from 7 to 9 p.m. and also on Facebook and YouTube. Be on the ball.
Let's thank you for joining us again on the ball here at WINN FM 98.9. We are going into some basketball news from the St. Kitts and Nevis Amateur Basketball Association. You remember the league started earlier. The youth league finished earlier in the year, and now, or the junior league, that's what they call it, and they're now into the senior league, which is in two categories, the Premier Division and the A Division. And just a reminder, we're going to have the SCAVA, St. Kitts and Nevis Amateur Volleyball Association, with us at about 8 o'clock, thereabout. And the basketball, well, we on game, an A Division game on the 7th of June, and that's on Saturday. Youth and Sports Eagles, they made extremely light work of Fire and Rescue No Limit, defeating them 81-42. The scoring for Youth and Sports Eagles, who are now 6-0. They have a perfect record, winning all 6. So if this continues, it looks like they may be going back to the Premier Division. We had Coley and Sargent. He had an equal game high, 21 points, 11 rebounds, a nice double-double there. And then he had some support from Jamel Ford, who also had a double-double, 16 points, 19 rebounds. And Stevenson Providence, and this is Youth and Sports still, who had a double-double, 14 points, and a game high, 19 rebounds. So that's going there, and wow. Stephen Providence, he had a massive, humongously large 14 blocks, game high 14 blocks. You don't normally hear somebody having 14 blocks in a game, but that was Stevenson Providence. And Kamal Brandy, he had a game high 6 assists, while in terms of the steals, we had, well, we'll come to the steals later. In terms of the Fire and Rescue No Limit, before this game, they were 2-3, winning to losing 3. Now they are 2-4. And Devonique Osborne, he had a joint game high 21 points. It's tough when you have game high scores and you're on the losing side. Dijon Wilkes, he had 12 points. And steals, Devonique Osborne, he had a joint game high 4 steals, along with Justin Batt, who also had 4 steals. The player of the game was Stevenson Providence. That was basically, what do you call it? Obvious, because he had a triple double 14 points, 19 rebounds, and 14 blocks. And that was the first game. In terms of the second game now, we're going to that. And this was also on Saturday 7th, where the Achievers Sports Club Jayhawks, they were 3-2 before this game. They took care of their colleagues, Achievers Sports Club Wolfpack. The Jayhawks were able to fly all over the Wolves because the Wolves, something went wrong with their hunting, their prey. And Jayhawks won that 77-41. So Jayhawks are now 4-2, while the Wolfpack they have a perfect record actually, 0-5. They've lost all 5 games. So for the Jayhawks, Kyrie Chumley, he had 16 points and a game-high 8 steals. Maybe police should be looking for him. Jazane Hodge, also of the Jayhawks, he had a double-double, 12 points, 15 rebounds, and actually the steals, 8 steals. So it's a joint high steals by these Kyrie Chumley and Jazane Hodge. Denwai Williams, he had 12 points. And Khalid Francis, he had 10 points as to support the colleagues. Now, in terms of the Wolfpack, the losers, we just spoke about it. Jonathan Nisbet, he had a game-high 17 points, all for a losing cause. And he was the only player from Wolfpack to get into double figures with anything. So he had, in terms of assists, Keshawn Felto of the Jayhawks, he had a game-high 5 assists. We mentioned the steals, and it looked like nobody was really blocking here because Jazane Hodge had a game-high 2 blocks as well as, and he's from Jayhawks and from Wolfpack. Antonis Archibald, he had a joint game high 2 blocks as well. So very, very low blocking scores for that game. Now, let's look at some points. Oh, forgive me, I didn't mention the player of the match. The player of the match was Jazane Hodge of ASC Jayhawks. He had a double-double, 12 points, 15 rebounds, 2 assists, game high 8 steals, joint game high, that is, 8 steals and 2 blocks. Now, in terms of the points, we do have some points for you. And this is as of the same 7th of July in the A division. In the 6th position, we have Wolfpack, as we mentioned earlier. They have a perfect record, 5 points. And you're wondering if they lose and they have 5 points. How does that go? When you lose, if you show up and you play and you lose, you get 1 point. If you lose by default, you don't get any point. And if you win, you get 3 points. Fire and Rescue, no limit. Jayhawks, forgive me, they have played 5 matches and they have 5 more remaining. They've lost 4 games by playing and they've had 1 forfeiture. So I got to check that. If they have 1 forfeiture, they should have 4 points and not 5 points. But I have to just check it out. Fire and Rescue, no limit. They have played 6, 1, 2, lost 4. They have 4 games remaining. And they are on 10 points. Now, Samuel Constructions 869ers Lost Dummy. I like the Lost Dummy name. There are some Spanish, I'm told. They are in 4th on 10 points also. Playing 6, winning 2, losing 4. They have 4 goals, 4 games remaining. I guess they're there because of points per game, etc., which we haven't seen here. In 3rd place, we have ASC Jayhawks, playing 6 games, winning 4, losing 2. They have 4 remaining, and they are on 14 points. Skywalkers, this is a new team as well. They have the same stats. Played 6, won 4, lose 2. They have 14 points, but Skywalkers, they are walking on sunshine, walking on the clouds in second place. Youth and Sports Eagles with a perfect record, winning all 6 matches. They have 18 points and 4 games remaining. So things are looking interesting there for the what do you call it, basketball with the St. Kitts Amateur Scanaba, St. Kitts Amateur Basketball Association, St. Kitts and the Nevis, Basketball Association. Things are really looking up there. So we're going to have to wait and see how the others work out. Now, that's it for, no, it's not it for basketball, because we have to tell you who's going to be playing next. Tonight, Tuesday the 10th, actually there should be 2 A division games. One should have finished by now, 6:30 rather, Skywalkers and the Youth. No, this was last night. Tonight, yeah, these are playing tonight. What am I talking about? Skywalkers and Youth and Sports playing 6:30 tonight. And then at 8 p.m., ASCJ Hawks versus Samuel Constructions 869ers Los Domi. That's tonight on Thursday the 12th, and that's in the A division. On Thursday the 12th June in the Premier Division at 6:30 p.m., Old Road Ball Hawks will be coming up against SL Horsford's St. Paul's Tough Nuts. And in the feature game at 8 p.m., the Leaders Farm K Burdock Uprisers will take on Sol Sandy Point Falcons. Pardon me, that's at 8 o'clock. Saturday, the 14th June, we go back to 2A division matches. Samuel Constructions 869ers Los Domi. They will be taking on the Leaders Youth and Sports Eagles. And in the feature game, Fire and Rescue No Limit, they will lock horns with Sol Sandy Point Falcons. And that is on Thursday. So we're going to have some good matches coming up. So we encourage you to go out and support these basketballers, support your clubs, support your communities. And even if you don't have any clubs or any communities, go on out and support basketball. We should be having some volleyball in the studios just now at 8 o'clock or thereabout. And we're going to be talking about the East Caribbean Volleyball Association on the 20 competition that they had here, on the 21 tournament they had here in St. Kitts on the Whit weekend. And we're going to tell you who played and who were the winners and all of that. And we're also going to tell you about a bit of camping that some young volleyballers had down in, I think it was Paraguay as well. So we're going to hear a little bit about that. But while we wait on them, let us talk cricket. And a lot of things happening, a lot of things going on with us Kittitians and Nevisians. Because Jazara Claxton, she has been included in the West Indies female team. And that is a very good thing. She went to England with the one day and the T20s with the West Indies team. She didn't have the best of performances, but she is in the West Indies team for some games coming up. And if we're going to tell you a bit about that, now, the St. Kitts Cricket Association, they have extended congratulations to Jazara for making the team. So we're going to just pull that up here in a second and tell you a little bit more about it. And everyone is proud of Jazara for making the West Indies team. In the first instance, because, she made it when we went to England, but she has been selected again, which is a good thing, and we say congratulations to her. And this is for a home series against South Africa. That's going to be happening here. And if we look at the article, Cricket West Indies announces women's squad for home series against South Africa. And this article is dated June 9, 2025. That is just yesterday at 6:59 p.m. Coming out of St. John's, Antigua. Cricket West Indies has announced the 15-member squad for the upcoming white ball home series against South Africa, set to take place at the iconic 3Ws Oval in Barbados. The series, scheduled for the 11th to the 23rd June, will feature 3 one-day internationals, that's the 50 overs, and 3 T20s, T20 international. The Maroon Warriors return to the Caribbean after a difficult tour of England. That's a nice way to put it, losing all 3 matches, T20 and the ODI, where they were unable to secure a win in the 6-match ODI and T20 series. Now back on home soil, the team is focused on regrouping, resetting, and reigniting their campaign in more familiar conditions as they aim to deliver stronger, more consistent performances on the international stage. Despite the disappointing results in England, the West Indies women showed glimpses of their potential, especially from international debutants Jazara Claxton, the first woman from St. Kitts to play. Well, actually, the article says St. Kitts, but she is from St. Kitts, the island of St. Kitts, which is part of the country of St. Kitts and Nevis, to play international cricket. And the Guyanese Rialiana Grimond, who scored a half-century on her ODI debut. Captain Hayley Matthews emerged as the standout performer with 177 runs, 3 wickets in the T20, and was duly named the player of the series. For some time, we've been leading on Hayley Matthews only. When she doesn't make runs, we tend to lose the game. So we have to find another 3-4 players to keep going when she isn't performing. The Proteas, that's how the South Africans are called. The Proteas women arrive in the Caribbean ranked higher than the West Indies in both formats, with South Africa positioned 5th in both ODI and T20 rankings, while the Maroon Warriors are ranked 9 in the former, that is 9 in the ODI, and 5th in the shortest format. And we're talking, and we go on to name the team. The West Indies women team: Hayley Matthews, captain; Shemaine Campbell, vice captain; Elia Aline, Jazara Claxton, Afi Fletcher, Shakiba Gajnadi, Janilia Glasgow, Reliana Grimond, Chanel Henry, Zaida James, Kiana Joseph, Mandy Magoo, Ashmini Monisa, Karishma Ramharak, and Stephanie Taylor. In terms of the management and administrative team, head coach Shane Dates, team manager Sheena Gooding, assistant coach Ryan Austin, assistant coach Damian Wright, team analyst Gary Bell, physiotherapist Angelica Holder, strength and conditioning coach Hector Martinez Charles, performance coach Dr. Nadine Sami, media and content officer Nicholas Maitland. And the schedule for the series are: the first ODI, Wednesday, 11th June, 10 a.m., the second, Saturday, 14th, third, Tuesday, 17th June. All of them are being started at 10 a.m., and that is the 50 over. In terms of the T20s, the first one is Friday, 20th June, 2 p.m. The second one is Sunday, 22nd June at 10 a.m. And the third T20 International, Monday, 23rd June, 2 p.m. So those are the 6 games, 3 T20s and 3 50 overs, 50 ODI games. So we're encouraging everybody to tune in and support the Windies. They are playing down at the 3W Stadium down in Oval in Barbados. So we have to wait and see if their performances, and everybody would be hoping that their performances would be better performances in the T20 as well as the ODI will be better than what we had in England, where we lost all 3 matches. So that's it for Jazara. Congratulations to her again. She has been selected. Her first time she went to England, and this is the second time now. So we're hoping that she's going to have a wonderful job. Let's take a break, and we will be right back to continue with On the Ball here at WINN FM 98.9.
Do you want to know what's happening in sport? Tune in to On the Ball, a weekly tour show which is on WINN FM 98.9 every Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. with me, your host, Troy Bif Mills. We will keep you on the ball with our variety of guests and, of course, your calls, discussing the facts and the stats and sharing your opinions. Get on the ball and stay on the ball by tuning into On the Ball with Troy Bif Mills on WINN FM 98.9 every Tuesday night from 7 to 9 p.m. and also on Facebook and YouTube. Be on the ball. you want to know what's happening in sport? Tune in to On the Ball, a weekly tour show which is on WINN FM 98.9 every Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. with me, your host, Troy Bif Mills. We will keep you on the ball with our variety of guests and, of course, your calls, discussing the facts and the stats and sharing your opinions. Get on the ball and stay on the ball by tuning into On the Ball with Troy Bif Mills on WINN FM 98.9 every Tuesday night from 7 to 9 p.m. and also on Facebook and YouTube. Be on the ball.
Kitts and Nevis listens to
WINN FM 98.
Do you want to know what's happening in sport? Tune in to On the Ball, a weekly tour show which is on WINN FM 98.9 every Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. with me, your host, Troy Bif Mills. We will keep you on the ball with our variety of guests and, of course, your calls, discussing the facts and the stats and sharing your opinions. Get on the ball and stay on the ball by tuning into On the Ball with Troy Bif Mills on WINN FM 98.9 every Tuesday night from 7 to 9 p.m. and also on Facebook and YouTube. Be on the ball.
Welcome back to another edition on the same one for tonight, actually, of On the Ball here at WINN FM 98.9. I'm Troy Bif Mills, your host, and we say thank you for tuning in to us, and thank you for all who are looking at us, Facebook and YouTube. Of course, if you want to call in, it's 466-0989. Call in and tell us what you think about the West Indies female. Congratulate Jazara. Tell us what you think about the upcoming games with both the West Indies female and male. And I like what they're saying. They have something about fuller energy. That's it. I'm hoping the energy will be turned into victory, because from my little, physics? When I was doing physics in school, you had latent energy, potential energy there stored up, ready to be exploded. So I'm hoping what they call it, fuller energy, is not latent energy. It's actually kinetic energy. And we're going to be having our guest in a bit. And he's from the Volleyball Association. And we just a sec, let me take a quick break so we could set him up. We had some challenges, but we're going to get it fixed. Let's take a quick break so we could get him online. On the Ball here at WINN FM 98.9. Thank you for joining us. And we got our business sorted out, as old people would say. We now have with us on the line Mr. Rick Swan. I hope I got the name correct. Rick Swan, is it? Good evening, Mr. Swan. How are you? Good evening, Mr. Swan. Ooh, seemed that we lost that call. We're going to try and connect again. And he is from Mr. Swan, can you listen to your phone, please? You're there? You're hearing us? We're speaking through the phone, Mr. Swan, through the... I'm not hearing him. I'm not certain if he's hearing us. Mr. Swan, Rick, we're going to try and connect again with him in a second. So, you're there, Swan? Rick? I'm not certain. Well, I'm not hearing anything. Mr. Raspy, I don't know if he's hearing me. Maybe we have to try that call again. But while we sort out that, we're still going to talk about some cricket. Cricket West Indies announces 16-member test squad for home series against Australia. And this piece is dated June 10th, 2025.
Hello, this is Rick.
Oh, this is Rick. Rick, you're there? Hello? I imagine I just heard him. But it's...
Hello?
Oh, good night, Rick. How are you, sir? Rick? Could you listen to your phone, please? Hello? We're not seeming to get... we're missing something. Well, we still work and get it sorted out. It's the technology, and once it's the technology, we could always get that fixed. So we were talking about Cricket West Indies announcing the 16-member test squad for home series against Australia. And this is really fresh off the press. It's dated June 10th, 2025 at 7:24 p.m. Wow, that was while the show started. Coming out of St. John's, Antigua, Cricket West Indies has announced its 16-member squad for the much-anticipated 3-match home test series against Australia, which begins on Wednesday, June 25th at the Kensington Oval in Barbados for the coveted Sir Frank Worrell Trophy. Pardon me. With this series signaling the critical start of the 2025-2027 ICC Test Championship cycle, several changes have been made to the squad that last featured in the drawn series against Pakistan earlier this year. Cricket West Indies Director of Cricket Miles Bascom expressed that selections were made in line with the team's commitment to building a bold, execution-driven identity in Test cricket with consistency in batting output and a dynamic bowling attack being key in the overall assessment. That's a lot of nice words, a lot of fancy words. And West Indies public definitely behind you, but want to see some action. And here we are. John Campbell returns to the squad, bolstering the option at the top of the order after prolific domestic season, inclusive of 3 centuries, backing up a strong showing in the 2023-24 season. Kevlin Anderson earns a maiden call-up, while on the back of his recent ODI form, Casey Carty earns a recall to the squad, with ODI vice-captain Brandon King securing a first-time inclusion. In conjunction with the return of limited overs captain Shea Hope, these selections are intended to fortify a battling lineup that is expected to sustain pressure on the opposing attack. Well, when you talk about sustaining pressure, it's Australia you're talking about, and they're the number 1 team in the world. And the test cycle is something new that was introduced recently. It's a 2-year period. Once ago, test matches would have been played just for test matches, 3 tests, 5 tests, whatever the case is. But now, what is happening, they're getting points, so to speak, and at the end of the period, the number 1 ranked and the number 2 ranked team, and they were given points. And we say it's going to be interesting. We say congrats to the persons who made it to the selection. And we're going to call the names in a minute. And some persons are coming back. Johan Lane, a 21-year-old product of the West Indies Academy, claims 63 first-class wickets in 17 matches, along with Anderson Phillip, who recently captured a 5-wicket haul for the West Indies A against South Africa, have been called up to provide reinforcement. Spin responsibilities will be handled by Captain Waston Chase and Vice-Captain Jamel Warrican. Jaden Seals, Aljari Joseph, and Shamar Joseph headline the fast bowling attack. So that's interesting. And let us now go. Kemar Roach, are they saying thank you? We don't know. We'll have to wait and see if he's just not available. But looking at it, Waston Chase, this will be his first series as captain of the West Indies senior men's team. Jamel Warrican, his vice-captain, Kevlin Anderson, Craig Brathwaite. Remember Craig, he stepped down from being captain, but he said, hey, I'm not retiring. I'm still available for selection. And obviously he's in John Campbell, Casey Carty, Justin Graves, Shea Hope, Tevin Imlak.
Hello?
The wicketkeeper, yes. And are we connected? You hearing me, Wick? Rick, are you hearing me? Excuse us, folks. We're still trying to work on this connection. Rick, are you hearing? I am not hearing. I imagine I heard something earlier raspy, but I'm not hearing anything again. What we'll have to do, Rick, we're going to go for next week, Tuesday, God's Spear, and we're going to work it out and make sure everything is up and running. We thank you for making yourself available on behalf of the volleyball. But we're going to have, and we spoke Brenda, she apologized because she's a bit hoarse from all the shouting that she probably would have had for the tournament, but we're going to have her in as well next week, God's Spear. So we'll work on having both yourself, Rick, and Brenda in with us next week. And we do apologize, and we apologize to the listeners as well. And we look forward to having you on the show next week, God's Spear. Tevin Imlak, he made his debut as the wicketkeeper down in Pakistan. And hey, would you believe it? There's no space here, if I'm seeing right. There's no space here for Joshua De Silva. And boy, that Tevin Imlak from Guyana, he's been having a good run with the bat and the gloves. So he is in. Alzari Joseph, Shamar Joseph, Brandon King, Johan Lake, Mikhail Louis, Anderson Phillips, and Jaden Seals. Why? If I were to pick 11 from here, it will be interesting. Obviously, Craig Brathwaite and Mikhail Louis going to open the batting. Brandon King is going to come at 3. No, Jaden Seals. Yeah, Brandon King 3. Jaden Seals 4. Anderson Phillips 5. Oh, shucks, no, I forget Casey Carty. Casey Carty will come at 3. Let me start from the bottom up. It might be easier from the bottom up. Shamar Joseph 11. Alzari Joseph 10. Jaden Seals, he's going to bat up above. He's going to be with the bowling. Jamel Warwikan, okay, let's say he's at 9. He probably be a little lower. He's at 9. At 8, who you going to have, boy? 8, the keeper at 8, Tevin Imlak 8. So we lead Waston Chase at 7. Justin Graves at 6. 5 going to be, ooh la la, boy, this is, I'm glad I'm not a selector, let me put it that way. But we've got to come back to that another time, perhaps discuss it a little more. Perhaps you could call and tell us your feeling who would be the selectors, or the selectees who are going to make the squad. And it's interesting, these names, because there are 16 names, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 5 got to be out because only 11 could play. And talking about out, Amir Django, he played in Pakistan. He made his debut in Pakistan, but he didn't really have the best of series when he came back. Yes, he made some runs, but it's tough. And there's a youngster, Gooley, out of Trinidad. We got to keep an eye on Gooley. I think he is there. And persons who are making, I've been in a lot of discussions. Not Jason, the Trinidadian. He made the most runs in the tournament. By far, he had a double century and about 3 other centuries, maybe 600 and something runs. I can't remember, and a couple half centuries. But he's nearly 70. Well, forgive me when I say nearly 70. He's up in age. I think he's 38, 39. So persons were wondering, are they going to pick him? I would argue, yes, it's good to go on youth, but the man is in form. Play him. Play him. Nobody got the most runs. And who was close to him? I can't remember who was second, but we'll have that information. So I believe you should play him. If he wasn't performing, that's a different kettle of fish. But he's head and shoulders above everybody else. I think there were only two double centuries in the last 4 days. He was one of them. Craig Brathwaite was the other. And I think it's a disservice not to play him. But anyway, Again, let me go through the squad for you in case you're just joining us. And you can call us 466-0989 and let us discuss it, share your views. We have Raston Chase, the captain, Jamel Warrican, the vice captain, Kevlin Anderson, who's making his debut, Craig Brathwaite, John Campbell, who's being recalled, Casey Carty being recalled, Justin Grave, Shea Hope. Somebody says Shea Hope, whatever the name is, Shea Hope. There's been a lot of discussion about him as well. He's the white ball captain, T20 and ODI, and persons have been asking for his reselection into the test team because he played a few matches before and then he was no longer considered and he has been performing. So they said, yeah, give him a chance. So he's back in Tevin Imlach, the wicketkeeper bat from out of Guyana, who kept in the 2 matches in Pakistan earlier in the year when Joshua De Silva was dropped. Alzari Joseph, and well, the vice captaincy, Alzari Joseph was the vice captain, but obviously Jamel Warrican is now the vice captain, so that has been taken from him. Shamar Joseph, Brandon King, Johan Lane, Mikael Louis, Anderson Phillip, and Jaden Seals. So this is a very good squad. Head coach Darren Sammy, assistant coach, there are 3 of them. Batting is Floyd Reefer, assistant coach. Bowling is Ravi Rampal. So which is good coming from a player into the coaching. Assistant coach fielding Ryan Griffith. Team manager Raul Lewis. Physiotherapist Dr. Dennis Byam. Strength and conditioning coach Ronald Rogers. Massage therapist Dark Brown, and Dark is out of Nevis, following in his father's footsteps. Team analyst Avanish Sitaram. Team analyst, and we recall our very own Richard Berridge. He was once the team analyst, and our very own, when I say very own, here trained at WINN FM 98.9. Richard is the chairman of the board. Good evening, Richard. How are you, sir? How are you and the board members doing? Hope all is well. And Trent Sargent, he was the analyst for the female team for some time. So good evening, Trent. How are you doing? Hope all is well. And then the content and the media officer. In small terms, public relations officer. Content. I like the word. Content and the media officer. Jerome Foster. I wonder if I could make it at 11 one of these days. I'll have to give it some thought. The full match schedule, 3 test matches. The first test, the 25th to the 29th June at the Kensington Oval in Barbados. The second test, the 3rd to the 7th of July 2025, the National Stadium in Grenada. And the third test, 12th to the 16th of July 2025, Sabina Park, Jamaica. And that is a day-night match. So 3 test matches. The powerhouse on test cricket, Australia. West Indies coming up against them. And of course, we have to rally behind the West Indies. We have to support them. And indeed, wish them all the best. Still, this squad got me a little... If I had to pick, maybe it's a good thing I'm just reading the sports, really, rather than selecting, because let me give it another shot again, with your permission. And again, I'm inviting your call. Raspy hearing about music, Raspy not thinking about cricket. Opening, Craig Brathwaite 1, Mikael Louis 2, Casey Carty 3, Shea Hope 4. Okay, that could probably work. Shea Hope 4. And where are we going by? Justin Graves 5, or vice versa. Justin Graves 5. Tevin Imlach 6. That could work. And that leaves 5 bowlers. Raston Chase 7. Okay, we're doing good. Raston Chase 7. That leaves 4 bowlers. Jamel Warrican 8. Alzari Joseph 9, Shama Joseph 10. We're missing out somebody. Who missing? We're going to give Johan his cap. We're going to give Johan his cap. Perhaps, perhaps Johan going to make a debut, That could probably work. So the pace bowlers would be Alzari Joseph 1, Shama Joseph 2, Shama Johan Lane 3. That's 3 Jaden Seals batting upstairs 4. So we're going in with 4 cookies. And then Aston Chase and Jamil Warwick 6 bowlers. I believe we wanted another bowler in there, Wanted somebody else to bring over the hand. In case something ain't going good with them 6 guys. A batsman who could bowl, a bowler who could bat. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's where that is, and that is the West Indies squad. And Sammy, I'm excited about the inclusion of young prospect Kevlin Anderson, who comes in after a solid season in our domestic competitions to help provide stability in the top order. While the return of Shea Hope is welcomed, given his consistency in white ball cricket, Sammy said, Brandon King's inclusion fits a role we have identified that needs special focus to take our team to those closer to the top of the ranking. It's a big responsibility on these guys. And however we look at it, we have to wish them the best and really hope that they come through and they do well. And in terms of cricket, we're still in cricket, and this is a biggie, Cricket West Indies and WIPA, the West Indies Players Association, announced nominees for the 8th CWI WIPA Awards Gala. And this article is on the West Indies' website, June 4th, 2025 to 28 p.m. out of St. John's, Antigua. Well, the catchphrase, celebrating excellence in the West Indies cricket. St. John's, Antigua, Cricket West Indies, CWI, and the West Indies Players Association, WIPA, are pleased to announce the nominees for the 8th CWI WIPA Awards Gala, a prestigious evening that honors the outstanding performances in West Indies cricket over the past year. The awards gala recognizes and celebrates excellence across international formats and the domestic tournament. This year's gala will also serve as a tribute to one of the most defining moments in West Indies cricket history, the 50th anniversary of the 1975 ICC Cricket World Cup victory under the legendary leadership of Sir Clive Lloyd. And Chris Derring, Chief Executive of Cricket West Indies, said, and I quote, "The CWI WIPA Awards Gala is more than an awards gala. It is an opportunity for reflection and renewal. It reminds us of the resilience of our players, the dreams of our people, and the significance of this sport to our collective Caribbean identity. This year, as we shine a spotlight on our modern-day heroes, we are also deeply honored to commemorate the legacy of the 1975 World Cup champions. That team, led by Sir Clive Lloyd, not only won the first ICC Men's Championship trophy, they ignited a spirit of belief and regional pride that transcended the boundary ropes." End of quote. Wavell Hines, the president and CEO of the West Indies Players Association, WIPA, added, and I quote, "This occasion is one of deep respect, not only for the achievements of our players, but also for the path they walk, the values they uphold, and the legacy they are entrusted with. The CWI WIPA Awards Gala is a celebration of talent, yes, but more importantly, It is a testament to the courage, character, and community behind the game. We are immensely proud of the nominees for this year's award. Their efforts remind us that excellence is not simply about performance. It is about perseverance, preparation, and purpose, end quote. The 8th CWI Weeper Awards Gala will be held on Sunday, June 22nd, 2025 at the Windham Grand Barbados Sam Lords Castle. Information on how fans can view the live television broadcast will be revealed in coming days. And this is the list of the nominees for the 8th CWI Weeper Awards Gala. 1. Test Player of the Year. And for each section, there are 5 nominees. And the winner is Troy Bif Mills. Maybe in another lifetime. Test Player of the Year. Craig Brathwaite, Kavim Hodge, Alzari Joseph, Shamar Joseph, and Jaden Seals. Men's ODI Player of the Year. Casey Carty, Shea Hope, Alzari Joseph, Gudakesh Moti, Shafane Rutherford. Men's T20 Player of the Year. Akil Hussein. I haven't heard from him a bit. He had some visa problems getting into England, so that's probably why he didn't feature. Alzari Joseph, Brandon King, Nicholas Puram, Roverman Powell. And speaking of Nicholas Puram, he has actually tendered his international resignation. We have a piece here where the West Indies board, they are congratulating him for his service. And on the other hand, some persons are blue mad with him for retiring. And persons guessing what are the reasons, what is the reason, what are the reasons. But quite a few persons are seen as Puran turning his back on West Indies and West Indies cricket. Lara retired, Chris Gale retired, Chanda Paul retired. When, I guess they're questioning when in the fight by West Indies to get back up. I don't know, but he's getting a lot of sticks. Women T20 Player of the Year, Shemaine Campbell, Afi Fletcher, Chanel Henry, Haley Matthews, Karishma Ramharak. Women ODI Player of the Year, that's the 50 over. Shemaine Campbell, Afi Fletcher, Chanel Henry, Zaida James, Haley Matthews, Stephanie Taylor. West Indies Championship Player of the Year, Joshua Bishop, that's the guy who made the 600, nearly 700 runs. Craig Brathwaite, Mikhail Louis, Kevin Sinclair, Jamel Warrican. That's our very own Mikhail Louis being nominated for West Indies Championship Player of the Year. And for the 7th category, Regional T20 Player of the Year, Johnson Charles, Andrew Fletcher, Shemran Hetmeyer, Gudakesh Moti, Nicholas Puram. CG United Super 50 Cup Player of the Year, Lenico Boucher, he's the wicketkeeper for Barbados, Raheem Cornwall, Justin Graves, Amir Jangu, Markino Mindley. And the CG United Women's Super 50 Cup Player of the Year, Shemaine Campbell, Casey Knight, Naya Lachman, Ashmina Monisa, Chedin Nation. And CWI Women's T20 Blaze Player of the Year, Erin Dean, Shabika Gajnami, Mandy Mangu, Plafiana Millington, and Rashida Williams. Now, I have to confirm, they say Player of the Year, but I have to confirm which year they are talking about. When does the year start? Is it for the 2024 season, 1st of January to 31st of December 2024? Or does it start, I don't know, say the 1st of August until the 31st of July? So it may not necessarily be a calendar year. It could be over a 12-month period. So that makes this a little more challenging for me to judge, save and accept Hayley Matthews. I think she's going to be the female to win both female and ODI and the T20 player of the year. I think Pooran is going to be the T20, possibly T20 player of the year. And I don't really know how this thing is going to work out. But one thing I know, we're going to have a quick break, a short break, and it's now 12 minutes to, so let us have a short break and be back to come in with the final piece of news, final article, and then we're going to be wrapping up. So stick and stay, don't go away. We'll be right back here at On The Ball.
Do you want to know what's happening in sport? Tune in to On The Ball, a weekly tour show which is on WINN FM 98.9 every Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. with me, your host, Troy Bif Mills. We will keep you on the ball with our variety of guests and, of course, your calls, discussing the facts and the stats and sharing your opinions. Get on the ball and stay on the ball by tuning into On The Ball with Troy Bif Mills on WINN FM 98.9 every Tuesday night from 7 to 9 p.m. and also on Facebook and YouTube. Be on the ball.
Welcome back to On The Ball here at WINN FM 98.9. Heard every Tuesday night from 7 to 9 p.m. And from starters, I could tell you now for next week, God's Spear, we're going to be having the St. Kitts and the Nevis Amateur Basketball Association with us. So we are going to be having some volleyball news, what has been happening around in the volleyball. I mentioned earlier that Pooran had retired from cricket, and some persons not happy, but when a man time come, he come, and it happens to everybody. And we have an article here from June the 9th, 2025 at 9:29 p.m. Cricket West Indies thanks Nicholas Pooran for his service. Cricket West Indies extends sincere gratitude and appreciation to Nicholas Pooran for his outstanding contributions to West Indies cricket. Nicholas officially informed the leadership of his decision to retire from international cricket, bringing to a close a significant chapter in his career. A world-class player and a game-changer, Nicholas leaves the game as the most capped West Indian in T20 internationals with 106 matches and the leading T20 international run scorer with 2,275 runs. His performance on the field and influence within the team have made a lasting impact on West Indies cricket. We salute his achievement and thank him for the moments he has given his fans across the region and beyond. We wish him all the very best in the next phase of his journey. And this is coming from Cricket West Indies, on the retirement of Puram for his on the international scene. He will, of course, continue to play franchise cricket, T20, CPL, and IPL, etc., etc. And there's always going to be a battle between finances and patriotism. Do you play for the West Indies only and make yourself available and lose out on monies? Let me put it another way. Playing for the IPL, the Super League, the Big Bash in Australia, the 100 in England, what have you, South Africa. Do you play for them and be enriched, get a lot of funds, and not being available for the West Indies so often, or the other way around, play for the West Indies, be available, not so much for the T20s franchise, and the revenue from the West Indies stream is not so much. Hey, that's going to always be a question. It has been a question, it is a question, and it will be a question down the road. And the West Indies perhaps not having the finances to have big, how should I put this? Let me leave it at big container fees. I don't want to get in any trouble. But Puran, who had an excellent performance in the recently concluded IPL, he's going to be missed at the Trinidad and Tobago level, at the West Indies level. And we wish him all the best here at WINN FM 98.9 as well. And we're going to still see him in T20 cricket. Now, with our final 8:55, let me squeeze in piece of this final article. Cricket West Indies establishes new commercial partnership with beloved Caribbean brand Courts, and this is from May the 31st, 2025, 4:02 p.m., St. John's, Antigua. Cricket West Indies is proud to announce its newest partnership with Courts, the Caribbean's most trusted home furnishing and appliance retailer, a strategic alliance that unites two iconic symbols of Caribbean unity. Courts is retail brand of the Unicomer Group, and we know Unicomer, they are sponsoring Village Galaxy, Unicomer the cable Village Galaxy, in the football in the first division. The partnership deal was recently signed in Trinidad by sitting CWI's Chief Commercial Officer Rupert Hunter, VP and Marketing Director of Courts Caribbean Felix Simon, who was accompanied by Regional Marketing Director Faisal Moradali. Witnessing the sitting were West Indies players Chanel Shaw, interesting, and Joshua De Silva and Janabi Joseph. So, cricket is more than a sport in the Caribbean. It's a popular pastime that ignites the passion of West Indian people. And that's Sam Felix, Caribbean Vice President for Unicomer Group. And this is going to be interesting. And I'm not seeing the value of the sponsorship, which a lot of people don't really say. Normally, some people say, hey, it's 50,000. As an example, don't kill me, 50,000 US a year for 3 years or whatever the case. But I'm not quite seeing that. Perhaps that's the modern trend. But nonetheless, we congratulate Courts for coming on board for West Indies cricket. We congratulate the West Indies team for sealing this deal, and we hope Courts will stay with the West Indies for a pretty long time. Other countries actually have Courts, and because Courts is a Caribbean brand, universal brand, so it's much needed. And like I said, I haven't any idea what's the value of the sponsorship, whether collectively or individually, that is, but it's 10,000 US a year for the next, and the period for the next 3 years or the next 5 years, as the case may be. Nonetheless, we congratulate Courts for coming on board and congratulate West Indies for landing this sponsorship. And of course, they can't forget the umpires, in the regional first class level, not for players only. I'm putting in a plug for umpires because I'm an umpire as well. And we say congratulations and the best wishes to them. And ladies and gentlemen, that's about where we'll have to stop tonight. We had some good information. We apologize for the technicalities we had in not joining our guest. We'll work on that next week, God's spear. And we thank you for listening. We thank you for showing your support. And I have a tendency of missing it. We thank you not only for tonight, but over the years for being with us here On the Ball. And we're inviting you to come on board and partner with us, be a sponsor in whatever size, shape, form you wish, you want. Please come on board and partner with us at On the Ball. Please call our marketing department 466-9586, or you can WhatsApp me 765-1100. Remember, that's my digital number I'm using now, the 668-2055. We're having some trouble and some challenges on that. But please call me, WhatsApp me 765-1100, and we'll be able to work something out. So I thank you very much for being with us. Of course, before I leave, please cut back. Please stop your speeding. Please always obey the speed limits. Don't drive too far behind vehicles. Don't drive so close behind vehicles, because if they stop abruptly, you're saying they stopped and they had no brakes and something. It doesn't hold water. That and nothing is alike. Because if you had stayed behind the regulating whatever, then that wouldn't have happened. So please do that. If you're drinking, don't drive. If you're driving, don't drink. Be responsible. Get a dedicated driver. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I say thank you for joining us. Tune in again next week, Tuesday, God's Spear, for On the Ball here at WINN FM 98.9 from 7 to 9 p.m. And as I leave, I admonish you to always be positive in your thoughts, in your words, and in your actions. Thank you for listening. Have a good night.
Do you want to know what's happening in sport? Tune in to On the Ball, a weekly tour show which is on WINN FM 98.9 every Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. with me, your host, Troy Bif Mills. We will keep you on the ball with our variety of guests and, of course, your calls, discussing the facts and the stats and sharing your opinions. Get on the ball and stay on the ball by tuning into On the Ball with Troy Bif Mills on WINN FM 98.9 every Tuesday night from 7 to 9 p.m. and also on Facebook and YouTube. Be on the ball.